So you did everything right. You followed the plan, you worked hard, you got the job, you got the title, you got the house, you got the big car, you got the bigger house, you got the bigger car. But now something doesn't feel right. You're waking up every morning with a quiet ache. Yeah, something deep inside tells you something's not right. And you don't even know how to explain it. I know that feeling. I've been there. You're not alone. In fact, this might be the clearest sign that you're finally ready for something bigger, something real, something meaningful. Welcome to Learning with Sanjeev. I'm really happy and grateful that you're here with me. What we're about to talk about isn't surface level. It's deep. So take a breath and let's go there. So by 37, I had held very senior titles at IFS, at Microsoft, and at Millennium Information Technology. From the outside, to everyone who saw me, I was winning. Things were fantastic. Great. But inside, I didn't feel that I was in the right place, doing the right thing. I felt like I was acting, playing someone else's role. Not really depressed, not ungrateful also, but something just didn't feel right. I used to ask myself, what's happening? What's wrong? Why do I feel this way? This is what I wanted, right? This is the life I built. This is the life I worked really hard to build. So why doesn't it feel right? It should feel right? But it doesn't. That was my first clue. My external life had outgrown my internal truth. My external life had outgrown my internal truth. Deep stuff, yeah? In psychology, we call this the arrival fallacy. The illusion that happiness is there. It's there on the other side of achievement. So you're waiting to achieve something in order to be, happiness is there. You just need to achieve one more thing, and you'll be happy. Yeah, it's like the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. You get to the other side of the fence and you find, sometimes there's no grass at all. Yes. So studies say that 73% of professionals experience emotional flatness after hitting a big goal. Yeah, big goal. So it's not the failure of achievement, it's the failure of what? Meaning. So, Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, a Harvard-trained psychologist and happiness researcher, actually coined this term, arrival fallacy. And how he defined it was as the false belief that once we achieve a particular goal, we will finally be happy. The false belief that once we achieve a definite goal, once we achieve a specific goal, we will finally be. It's the illusion that happiness, it's the illusion that fulfillment lives just on the other side of achievement. Happiness is there, just on the other side of achievement. Achieve this, you'll be happy. Achieve this, you'll be fulfilled. But when we arrive, we have worked hard and we get there, the joy is very, very short, it's fleeting. Yeah, and it's often followed by confusion, emptiness, or burnout. Yeah, I remember I led my choir, the Revelations, to become world champions twice, not once but twice in 2008. Worked hard, worked really hard. Got to Austria, got on stage, performed, became world champions, and after that, nothing. Didn't feel great. Yeah, just like an emptiness. What's next? Same thing. I remember being promoted to Consulting Services Director of IFS. I had worked for 6 years to get there. Got there, no big deal. So why does this happen? Let's just go step by step and try to figure out why this happens. So first is, we have an external reward focus, right? We want the external reward. I want the title, I want this job, I want the car, I want the house, yeah? I want the prestige. So we are focused on the external reward rather than any internal or intrinsic meaning. So we get the reward and we feel down. Why is that? Because there's a dopamine drop. Yeah. So dopamine increases when we are chasing after something, right? Because that helps us to chase after it and get it. As soon as we get it, the brain doesn't need to produce or release dopamine anymore because we have achieved it. So now there's a dopamine drop, which means we are going to feel down. Yes? Understand how it works? And when we get something, lots of times there's no inner alignment with who we really are. So we really stop to ask even things like, is this really mine? Is this for me? Is this success really mine? Is this who I am? Is this who I want to be? The problem occurs when we achieve something and arrival fallacy kicks in, right? So we achieve something and then there's an identity collapse because our whole identity was built up around achieving the goal. That's who I am. Now I achieved the goal. What after that? What comes after? Someone can say, okay, set another goal. So then you go after the next goal. Get that also, still not happy, still not full. So going back to Tal Ben-Shahar, who coined this term, the arrival fallacy, he noted that high achievers like you and me are especially vulnerable to the arrival fallacy, because you're working hard, really going after a goal, then want a bigger goal. So his studies showed a spike in emotional flatness and identity crisis. So emotional flatness, identity crisis just increases, spikes after major career or life milestones, especially for high achievers. Yeah. What else to do? So it's similar to this thing called post-Olympic depression. Yeah, post-Olympic depression. So Olympians worked hard, like killed themselves, got to the Olympic, got the medal. Now what? So why does this happen? It's actually connected to what another psychologist, James Marcia, calls identity foreclosure. Identity foreclosure. This is when we commit to a career path too early without really exploring who we really are. What is our real purpose? Why are we on this planet? What are we trying to do here? Why do we even exist? So we commit early in life to an identity. It could be a job, a role, expectation. Okay, you need to be a husband, a father, a provider, do this job, work hard, get your promotions, study more, get more promotions, work harder, often without fully exploring what else could we do. What really makes me fulfilled? What really makes me happy? And then we are trapped in a particular role, we are trapped in a particular job. And now we have worked in that job for 20, 30 years. Got the promotions also. What else can we do now? How can I go anywhere else? Yeah, I'm going to get a hit in my income. I'm going to get a hit in my prestige. I'm going to get a hit in my position. What else can I do? I need to be now still stuck here, right? Because I can't change now. So we commit to this job, this identity. We are going down this path. But more and more we realize that's not who we are. That's not who we really are. You realize you are living someone else's script, someone else's life, someone else's life. And eventually that identity becomes like a prison. Get in the prison. So let's look at how this actually links together, right? Identity foreclosure and arrival fallacy. So first is identity foreclosure. You lock into a successful identity early. In my case, it was, studying information technology, going down a programming line. But very early I realized, no, I hate programming. So I went on more consulting, project management, that type of thing. Now I'm locked into that, right? Yeah. So you can get locked into a career early. I know some people who went into medicine, studied for 6 years to become a doctor, long time, did all the clinicals, worked long hours, sleepless nights, graduated as a doctor, 6 years of hard work. Started practicing, realized no, this is not what I want. Gave up that whole career of medicine, and now I'm doing something else. And much happier doing it. There's one of my friends studied to be a doctor, ended up heading an ad agency. Someone else studied to be a doctor, is now a pastor instead. Someone else studied to be a doctor, now he's heading a school which teaches information technology to students. So you're not alone. Lots of others feel this way as well. So identity foreclosure. So we're locked into a particular identity. Then in that identity, now we're working hard, doing things, achieving things, and then the arrival fallacy happens. Yeah? We reach the pinnacle of that identity, right at the top, like I did, consulting services director of Microsoft, and feel nothing. Nothing. No big deal. Yeah? The fulfillment that we were promised doesn't show up, doesn't arrive, is not there, is missing, is hidden, is just not there. So what follows then is the internal conflict, right? The outer self, the outer success, and the inner self are not aligned. Outer success, very successful, inside hollow, empty. So you're stuck between identities. Who am I really? Who am I really? And then we have this purpose crisis. You don't want to go back. You really can't go back, you feel, and you don't really know how to move forward either. This is where the second act begins. Your second act in life. Second act. Don't be scared, we can do this. So for years, for me, I was, working really, really hard. Yeah. At IFS, actually, I got 4 promotions in 6 years. Not bad, yeah? Right, and ended up as consulting services director for South Asia. Didn't feel much. So I thought, okay, something wrong with the place, or I need a change. Joined Microsoft as services director. Microsoft as services director. Super. That job just lasted 6 months. Then from there I moved to MIT as GM initially and then COO. That job also lasted just 6 months. Because something was telling me, not right for you. There's a misalignment. This is not really you. So I thought each title, each promotion, each bigger thing would make me feel better, would make me feel complete, but that really didn't happen, yeah. So worked hard, got somewhere, didn't feel anything. That was the Arrival Fallacy. But the truth was even deeper. It was that I had built my whole identity up to that point around something that maybe wasn't really me. Yeah? Now I was looking to change that. I had never asked, do I even want this version of myself anymore? Do I even want this version of myself anymore? So that's identity foreclosure, right? I just gone into that identity, yeah, taken it on as mine, and it's what so many high achievers like you and me never see coming. Right, so what do we do? What do we do? So first, take a step back. Step number 1, stop. Pause. Smell the roses, as they say. Growth doesn't always look like speed, yeah? Sometimes growth could be where you actually pause, where there's just silence, where you're not moving forward. You just stopped and you're thinking, what am I going to do now? So once you have managed to pause, to stop, use the 3P compass. So here I'm just going to introduce you to the 3P compass, and in later videos we go deeper, right? Alright? Yeah? So use the 3P compass. What is this 3P compass? We use this compass to reconnect with the 3 P's that are really important to us. The first P, play. What could you do, keep doing? What could you keep doing the whole day, even without getting paid a cent? Where you don't get tired, where it just keeps on energizing you. Yeah, you feel great doing this. You feel awesome. You are in flow. So play. What energizes you without effort? Do you do that anymore? The second P is pain. Pain. What have you healed from that others need? What have you healed from that others need? You're healed, but others still need this. What can you contribute? It's like this whole thing of purpose, right? Why I'm doing this for you. And the third P is, who do you want to be with? People. The third P is people. Who are you naturally drawn to help? What can you do? Whose life could you have a big impact in? Who do you think you can serve the most? So purpose isn't really a career, it's not a destination, it's a pattern. The more we figure out about these 3 P's, our compass, we know what we are going to be doing, what we should be doing, what's going to make us happy. And we keep moving in that direction. Yeah? The compass is guiding us. And then you find, I'm living my purpose now. Because I'm feeling fulfilled, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling successful. That's great. So, the next one, step 3, design 1 intentional hour a day. Just keep aside 1 hour for you. Don't leave your job today, right? Don't burn down everything. That's more. So just start off with an hour a day, 60 minutes a day, 3,600 seconds a day for your future self. Focusing on the 3 P's for who you want to grow into being. So 60 minutes a day, writing, learning, mentoring someone, helping someone else, creating something that you always wanted to do. So that 1 hour a day, 60 minutes a day, 3,600 seconds a day is basically the seed of your second act. You have planted the seed. You are planting the seed. Yeah, and then your second act will start to grow. So remember, you didn't fail, right? Because you succeeded. You succeeded, you achieved what you set out to achieve. And so did I. So what really happened? We just outgrew the outcome. We got something, we achieved something, and realized, I thought this is going to mean a great deal to me, but it doesn't. I have outgrown the outcome. That's great. That's awesome. Let's look at what next. So, the success that you have and the success that I had was never the end. Yeah? It was just the doorway to who you really are. The doorway to who I really am. So thanks a lot for joining me. Hope this helped you and got you thinking what your real purpose is. Yeah? Lots more to come in this. Lots more to come. Stay with me, okay? So, do subscribe to my channel if you're ready to live your life, not just perform. And tell me in the comments, yeah? What are you no longer willing to pretend about? What are you no longer willing to pretend about? Let's not pretend, you and I. Okay? Alright, fantastic. So, see you at the next one, okay? Until then, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm Sanjeev. Have an awesome day.